Part 74. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 731. Lum Wan was thoughtful when she heard Ming Xiu's words, and she also had a vague hunch that she might encounter a lot of things when she came to the Kanglan secret realm this time. She looked sideways at the two family members who were besieged with the Nether Palace royal family, and quickly withdrew her eyes. The 12 people were startled when they saw her gaze suddenly shifted to them, but this group of monsters really had nothing to do with them, and they were also victims. Ninth brother, a few of us want to go to a place to find something, so we won't be with you for the time being. The second prince thought about it for a while and walked to Ming Xiu with a smile that looked like a good brother. He hadn't thought of removing Ming Xiu in the Kanglan secret realm. Although they were brothers, although the conflict of interests was relatively large, they had not yet reached the point where he wanted to kill them. But after seeing the strength that Lum Wan showed just now, he wanted to leave with his team, otherwise, with the strength of the two, they would not be able to share much when they encountered good things. Okay, second brother, take care, Ming Xiu replied with a nonchalant smile. The Imperial family of the underworld took a total of 2 tokens this time. They were led by the second prince and Ming Xiu. Each team was close to each other. The second prince came to the Kanglan secret realm to have his own secrets, and Ming Xiu was not interested in knowing it at all. The other 2 families were not familiar with Ming Xiu or the second prince, so they politely left after saying goodbye. In the end, Ming Xiu and 5 teammates were left. Lum Wan knew 3 people, the 7th prince whom he met in the private room, the 5th prince who had been silent, the 8th princess who looked gentle and graceful, and 2 others. Never seen it? 9th younger brother and sister, I haven't seen you for more than a year and you are beautiful again. The 7th prince walked up to Lum Wan and said with a proud smile. Ming Xiu knew that his 7th brother had beaten Lum Wan before, so he hugged Lum Wan even tighter and threw a cold knife at him. The 7th prince is very polite, Lum Wan replied calmly. Her man was really jealous. The 7th prince couldn't stand the cold knife that Ming Xiu lost, and took 2 steps back with a shy smile, and asked, what should we do now? Ming Xiu looked down at Lum Wan. What does Yanner think? We have all taken over the task of the Union, and now we need to go to several locations, and it is relatively dangerous, Lum Wan said truthfully. Together, Ming Xiu said decisively without any hesitation, we also have a mission. Others know the relationship between the two, and know Ming Xiu's strength and determination. The important task of the 5 of them entering the Kanglan secret realm this time is to assist Ming Xiu to obtain a spiritual item ordered by the royal family, so it doesn't matter how they plan. Seeing that Ming Xiu's teammates had no objection, Lum Wan nodded, okay. Immediately, she turned her head to look at An Yukian and asked, Yukian, should we summarize our respective tasks? The Union does not require us to complete them individually, as long as we obtain the task items. It is good. So the mercenary union, Danta's disciples, and Ming Xiu got together and put together the tasks to discuss the next route. When they were summarizing their tasks, there was a hidden cave in the bottom of a clear lake in Guanglingja. At this time, there are many strong people who have integrated the realm of heaven and man. They are watching the situation in Kanglan's secret realm through a water curtain projection in the cave. They watched Lum Wan and Lan Yanhuan join hands to break the ban, and watched Lum Wan release the Red Bee colony and a group of spiritual pets to easily kill the high-level beast tide, and many people showed interest in their eyes. Lao Feng, is this Lum Wan the daughter of your Feng family? Feng Yuixin, an old man sitting beside the Feng family ancestor, asked with a smile. The ancestor of the Feng family smiled and stroked his beard. Haha, Xiao Wan is the treasure of our Feng family. The ancestor of the Ming family next to Emperor Ming smiled and said, she is now a member of the Feng family, and she will enter the Ming family's door in the future. Old ancestor Feng glared at old ancestor Ming family. The 8 characters haven't been written yet. Don't even think of your Ming Palace royal family to snatch the Yan girl from our Feng family. The little girl hugged and hugged our ninth prince in public and didn't say a word. Lao Feng, you are too modest, old ancestor Ming said with a cheerful smile. He is very satisfied with Lum Wen now, and only such a woman is worthy of his great-grandson. There was also a smile on Emperor Ming's lips. My old ninth daughter-in-law is always pleasantly surprised. Old ancestor Feng gained a new understanding of the thick skin of the Ming family. People from other families all looked thoughtful when they heard the words of several people. You don't have to fight anymore. The little girl is a good seed of our mercenary union. Even if you get married in the future, you will still belong to our union, the ancestor of the mercenary union said shyly. Old ancestor Feng and old ancestor Ming were speechless. Emperor Ming raised his eyebrows. Anyway, the little girl is my ninth daughter. The other powerhouses present couldn't help twitching the corners of their mouths. This is how they are observing the potential genius, how it has become a robbing conference. Okay, Lum Wen and Ming Xiu are both very talented. If they can get one of the treasures in the Kanglan secret realm, they can be added to the list of candidates. Only a handsome man in Xingyi in his 20s spoke lightly. His face is young, but his whole person exudes a daunting and fierce temperament. The powerhouses who have integrated the realm of heaven and man, including the underworld emperor, have a faint sense of awe towards him. He is the #1 powerhouse in the human domain, and has been famous for thousands of years. The exercises he has cultivated have the effect of keeping his face. Therefore, he has maintained his appearance in his 20s for thousands of years, but few people dare to provoke him. Yes. Hearing the words of the man in Xingyi, the ancestors of the Feng family, Emperor Ming and Ancestor Ming all had smiles in their eyes. If they can join the candidate list, it is not difficult to break through to the upper realm of fusion with the talents of Ming Xiu and Lum Wen. In the secret realm of Kanglan, Lum Wen and others researched their respective tasks comprehensively and found that a route could be formed, so they rushed towards the first task point. And the news that Lum Wen had a huge high-level red bee colony in her hands quickly spread in the secret realm of Kanglan, and many people were very afraid of her. There are not only high-level monsters living in the Kanglan secret realm, but also a kind of aboriginal creature, half human and half demon. Some of them are very strong, and some are proficient in various spells, such as Fireball, which will become very powerful in their hands. The king's coercion released by Mo Yan can suppress the monsters and not attack, but it is useless to this half-human half-demon creature. Lum Wen and others encountered this kind of half-human half-demon when they got the first quest item for a disciple of Danta, and it took a lot of effort to kill them successfully. 3 days later, when they arrived at a big river, they saw that most of the family disciples who entered the Kanglan secret realm were trapped on this side of the river, including the Lan family and the other 3 major forces. Looking around, the opposite side of the river is full of creatures holding all kinds of simple magic tools and human demon tails. The most important thing is that some of them can use the elemental law of water to set up a field like a ban, and all the swordsmen who cross the river without authorization are killed by it. There were many corpses of human swordsmen floating on the river, and the blood dyed a large area of the clear river water red. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 732. When Lum Wen and Ming Xiu walked to the river, everyone present turned their attention to them. Many people couldn't help but show some joy in their eyes, especially the disciples of the Formation Alliance, the Refining Pavilion, and the Beast Masters Guild. You are finally here, the leading disciple of the Refining Pavilion said with a smile as he looked at the group. The leading disciple of Danta was familiar with this person, and asked in surprise, "What the hell is going on?" "Hey, when we arrived here, we saw a swordsman crossing the river, but only halfway to the bottom of the river, a field like a ban appeared. As long as you step into the field, you will definitely die," disciple of the Refining Pavilion said with a sigh. These natives have a strong ability to perceive elemental attributes. Although they have not yet been promoted to the fusion realm, they have been able to join forces to lay out the prototype of the realm, which is very difficult to deal with. The leading disciple of the Formation Alliance side and added. Enyukian and others also have a deep understanding. After all, they have encountered these natives before. The people around were trapped and unable to move forward, impatient and helpless at the same time. The second prince and others were among them. The Kanglan mystery realm is very large. Generally, people who are passed in will be distributed in 4 directions, so some people will not pass through here. Ninth brother, do you think there is a way to get there? The second prince walked over to Mingxiu and looked at him with a smile. If they couldn't cross the river, the treasure they were looking for in advance was the flower in the moon mirror in the water, and they couldn't get it at all. Others also set their sights on Mingxiu. Among the younger generation, Mingxiu is known as the number 1 in Zhongzhou, and everyone expects him to break the other side's water domain. Mingxiu raised his eyebrows. I'll take a look and then talk about it. After he finished speaking, he took Lu Muian's hand and walked to the riverside together, staring at the circles of blue fluorescent light formed in the middle of the river with deep eyes. What do you think of Yan'er? He asked softly. Lu Muian's eyes were full of interest, and he smiled lightly. I also understood the cone of the domain, and I really want to go to the domain of water where I can meet them. Her 8 UN force attributes have all broken through to the perfect state in the comprehension tower. No matter which one can now arrange the prototype of the water domain similar to that of the indigenous people across the river. The 5 elements are mutually restrained, and the earth restrains water. Let's arrange a formation of the field of soil to break the prototype of the field of water in the river, Mingxiu said with a smile. His 8 attributes have also reached the perfect state, and he can completely arrange a primary field by means of the formation method. It is good. Both of them like to study the formation path, and the power of the prototype that comes out of the formation field will be much stronger. Lan Yanhuan watched the two intimately discussing countermeasures, and a complicated light flashed across his eyes. Lu Muian and Mingxiu discussed and started to move. The two took out the natal array plate and natal array flag at the same time, and jointly made a set of earth element array temporarily, and then flew to the center of the river to form an array near the water field arranged by the indigenous people. The movements of the two are smooth and skillful, and there is an unusual sense of tacit understanding that penetrates each other without speaking. Basically, at a glance, you can know what the other party is going to do next. This is the heart-to-heart feeling of the two, a subtle state that many dual cultivation partners cannot achieve. What are they going to do? Someone asked in confusion as they watched the two take out the furnace to refine the array, and then flew to the middle of the river. It should be to use the formation to break the opponent's water domain. This method doesn't apply, one person said. There were several formation mages among the few people who died before, and they also formed the formation together but all failed. That's because they are not strong enough. Mingxiu and Lu Muian are both 8th rank array masters. If they can't crack it, we can't do anything about it. Yeah. I just hope we can break through this indigenous water domain. I didn't expect that these natives have no contact with the outside world. The exercises and instruments are very poor, but they are born with affinity and comprehension of elements, which is difficult to deal with. The reason why the powerhouse of the fusion realm is very strong is that he has a strong understanding of the elements, and can mobilize the surrounding element power to arrange the field, or defend or kill. Look, they started. The people who had been discussing in a low voice all silenced their voices and quietly looked at the two red figures in front of them. Lu Muian and Mingxiu cooperated flawlessly. Both of them were earth elements in great perfection. Soon, huge earth thorns drilled out of the water and plunged straight into the blue fluorescent water circle. The two constantly changed their techniques, the formation of the earth, and Lu Muian used his mastery of the earth element to outline the prototype of the field. A yellow aperture gradually emerged from the water waves, and the earth element instantly filled the surroundings. The field of soil, they actually set up the field of soil, someone who was watching exclaimed. What do they plan to do with the field of soil? Resist the field of water. Lan Yanhuan squinted his eyes and said, they want to use the earth and water in the 5 elements to break the opponent's domain, and they also added an 8-level attacking earth-like formation. If there is no accident, they will soon be able to broken. Mingxiu and Lumwian are so good, they are a good match. There was an endless stream of discussions. Before, many people thought that Lumwian was not worthy of meditation. At this time, it was extremely complicated. Her talent is already comparable to that of meditation, and her background is also very strong now, which is really a good match. As soon as the field of earth came out, Mingxiu immediately integrated the entire killing formation of earth into it, and the two of them controlled and attacked the field of water together. After a while, the circle of blue fluorescence was much weaker, and it felt like it was about to collapse. The half-human, half-beast creatures who were clamoring on the opposite side were shocked when they saw this. Under the leadership of a leader of the peak of the Tianyuan realm, Chi formed a special shape and began to infuse the water energy into the water field. Mingxiu and Lumwian looked at each other, both of them exuding self-confidence and wanton brilliance. 2 golden long swords drilled out of the two of them, and then divided into hundreds of small swords, forming a miniature sword formation, and then straightly penetrated the field of water and attacked the half-human, half-beast across the river. Boom! Before the time for a stick of incense came, the blue fluorescent light gradually became transparent and then collapsed on the river. The sword formation composed of golden swords slaughtered the quartet under the control of the two, and many half-humans and half-beasts on the other side were killed. Broken, they actually broke each other's water domain. Many people on the Terran side shouted excitedly. So strong, the two of them worked together so perfectly. The strong human race here cheered, but the natives on the other side of the river were anxious. Whoa! Then the aboriginal leader on the other side raised his head and shouted a few times, and the surrounding river suddenly collapsed. Then one after another huge black shadows emerged from the water, all of them were monsters from the earth origin and heaven origin. The most important thing is that they have a cold light on their bodies, and their eyes are scarlet, like fighting puppets without reason and thinking. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 733. Giant beasts constantly floated up on the river, with scarlet faces in their eyes, and the aura they exuded was icy and ferocious, which made many human swordsmen startled. What kind of monster is this? These monsters are too bloody and hostile, and I don't know how they grow. Have you noticed that these monsters don't seem to have much wisdom? I found out that they should be raised by the indigenous people with special methods, and they cannot become demon cultivators without their own consciousness. The crowd looked nervously at the monster floating on the river. Mingxiu and Lumwian looked at each other and saw the strong fighting intent and interest in each other's eyes. Both of them are belligerents and like to be stimulated. Such Tianyuan realm monsters are most suitable for attacking and training their fighting ability. Exercise helps. How about we compare? Lumwian looked at Mingxiu with a smile. Mingxiu raised his eyebrows and smiled. How to compare? Let's see who kills the most monsters. How about that? Lumwian is gearing up. Mingxiu laughed a few times, leaned into Lumwian's ear and said, if I win, is there any reward? If you win, I'll let you kiss enough. Lumwian blinked her eyes and said with a sly smile. Mingxiu's eyes were as deep as ink, and a smile spread across his brows. Okay. What if you lose? Lumwian asked back. Whatever you do, Mingxiu whispered ambiguous, you can eat me. Lumwian rolled her eyes at Mingxiu. Why didn't she know that this fellow would have such shameless face, and the tip of her ear couldn't help but turn pink. By the way, I want to bring help, Lum Wan said proudly. Okay, Long Yao will give it to you, Ming Xiu said indifferently. Lum Wan shook his head and jokingly said, Long Yao will give it to you, in case you lose too much. Yanner is really considerate to her husband. Ming Xiu couldn't help but grab the back of Lum Wan's hand and kissed it. The people behind twitched the corners of their mouths fiercely. Is it really okay for these two to be flirting here at this time? Although they couldn't hear what the two of them said, they were so ambiguous and reminiscent of them when they looked at them, and they properly ignored them and showed their affection. Several people in the mercenary union have always thought that Lum Wan is calm and wise, and they have never seen her showing such a cute and coquettish look. It turns out that a strong woman can be in front of a beloved man. Soft as water. Mu Yan and the ninth prince are a perfect match in terms of temperament, ability, and tacit understanding, Lu Li said with a somewhat envious smile in his eyes. Xia Xuanyi smiled bitterly, yes. The ninth prince is indeed worthy of Mu Yan. After he learned about the relationship between Ming Xiu and Lum Wan, he also suppressed his thoughts of breaking up with Lum Wan, but as he got along more and more, he felt that he actually fell in love with her, even more and more. I can't help myself, but I just haven't shown it. But this is just a love that never ends, he won't let it develop, just be friends. The disciples of the royal family in the Nether Palace looked unbelievable. The ninth younger brother, who had a strange temperament and was uncertain, actually had such sweet words. Lum Wan and Ming Xiu didn't pay attention to the eyes of others behind them, they looked at each other and flew towards the river. What are they two going to do? Don't they want to kill these monsters with the power of two people? How is that possible? The lowest realm of these monsters is the peak of the Earth Origin realm. There are still many auras lurking under the river that only give me a feeling of being at the peak of the Heaven Origin realm. Even if they are against the top two, they can deal with them. In exchange for them, they have to do their best to kill one, and they may not even be able to kill. Yeah. The scales of these monster beasts are extremely sharp with the icy cold light, and their bodies must be very strong, and they unnaturally exude a sinister murderous aura. Just under the shroud of that range, it is difficult to move an inch. Feeling. But what are they going to do when they rush over here not to kill monsters? Have a look. Immediately, everyone saw Lum Wan throwing out a ring of spirit beasts, and a dense swarm of red bees with different color and elemental energy attributes drilled out of it. A few spirit pets, except Mo Yan, also turned into their bodies and flew out. Long Yao returned to Mingxiu to fight side by side with him, and soon the two and the pets were thrown into the battle and fought heartily. Seeing that the two sides quickly got to grips with each other, the people from the 5 major forces and the Nether Palace royal family were not able to stand still, and they all stepped forward to prepare to help the two of them. Who knows, but was blocked by a cold purple-clothed man. He said coldly, my host and the hostess are in a competition for who has the most kills, so don't join in the fun. Everyone felt dumbfounded when they heard his words. Come on, they are very nervous here, but if it was replaced by Ming Xiu and Lum Wan, it would become a game like a game. The disciples of the 5 major forces and the people of the Imperial family of the underworld could only stop silently and look at the two people who were having fun. If something happens to the two of them, they can't bear it, they can only stare closely, and if something goes wrong, they should take action immediately, although their strength may not matter. But apparently their nervousness was superfluous. I saw the 2 red images in the middle of the river were like harvesters. Wherever they passed, a ferocious monster with belly was dragged into the water by the golden vines to digest. The rest of the swarms of red bees were bloody skeletons, and the other monsters were also very powerful. Although they were not as good as the other in terms of cultivation level, it was effortless to challenge them. There are 5 types of long swords around Mingxiu, which are divided into thousands of sword formations, which are constantly slaughtered. As long as the body of the besieged vicious beast hits the key point in an instant, it will die immediately. In front of Lum Wan, There are also long swords with 4 attributes. Into the water. Not only did she use the long sword to kill the monsters, but she also used her fists to fight back against the besieging monsters, sending one flying away with 2 or 3 punches. As for the extremely fierce and sneak attacking monsters, she directly beat her to death with her fists after turning around. Watching Lu Muian's action of killing the monster, many of the men present couldn't help swallowing. This woman is too strong, someone sighed. It was the first time I saw such a violent woman. It was an eye-opener. Only His Royal Highness the 9th Prince can afford such a beauty. It would be very interesting to conquer a wild and violent beauty, but unfortunately we don't have the ability to control it. The 9th Prince is a real man. In the hearts of many people, they think that a beautiful woman like Lu Muian must fight with swords, and her moves are beautiful and varied, which is pleasing to the eye. But no one thought that she actually likes hand-to-hand combat, and the bigger the smile on her face, the more beautiful it is. Although the violent look is also pleasing to the eye, it still makes the heart hurt and the scalp numb. Many people thought in their hearts that Lu Muian's strength is higher than that of many men here. If she gets married and offends her, will she be beaten to death? My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world. BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 734. In the middle of the river, I saw 2 red-clothed killing gods constantly harvesting ferocious and brutal monsters, and the river was dyed red with the blood of monsters. At this time, both the sword masters on the human side and the half-human half-demon creatures on the other side of the river were stunned. This is the first time I have seen such a scene in my life. The most important thing is that these 2 people are not usually so violent and fierce. Lu Muian killed the last monster. Seeing the corpses of countless monsters that had been drained of blood and blood on the river, she moved into the space ring. The worst of these monsters are the peaks of the Earth origin realm. They only know how to kill with low value and intelligence. They cannot cultivate and transform into human forms. Therefore, those indigenous people are trained towards the hardness of their bodies. They are excellent refining tools and talisman materials. The indigenous people saw that all the monsters that the king had cultivated were killed, and under the organization of the leader, they quickly escaped and disappeared on the other side of the river. We made another big profit this time, she said, looking at Mo Yan with sparkling eyes. Who won, Ming Xiu and I? Mo Yan's eyes overflowed with a smile. You killed 6 more than him. Lu Muian's eyes showed a slight look of surprise. She thought that there would be at least 1 or 20 more cultivators, but she did not expect that there would be 6 more. You must know that the reason why her killing speed is fast is not only the combination of the longsword and the witch god art, but also the credit of the Red Bee colony and a group of monsters, and there is only one spirit, Long Yao, beside Mingxiu. Pet. Moreover, he knew that Mingxiu had already refined the natal magic weapon with 8 attributes, and the sword array that had only stimulated the 5 attributes just now was clumsy. Although she didn't do her best, she was still far behind Mingxiu in terms of strength. He really deserved to be the first among the younger generation in Zhongzhou, very strong. Yaner, Yuan Mingxiu's body was clean and fresh. Not only did he not have a drop of blood, there was not even a trace of wrinkles on his clothes. There was a thin layer of sweat on Lu Muian's head, which was the energy she had consumed after her hand-to-hand combat. Then you owe me something. Lu Muian frowned and smiled. Mingxiu put his arms around her waist and whispered in her ear, I'm waiting for you to eat me. Lu Muian's heart was itching, and ripples burst forth. She grabbed Mingxiu's waist with her hand and said viciously, then just wait. Haha, I'm looking forward to that day. Mingxiu's happy voice poured out from his thin sexy lips, and his smile was like a snow plum that suddenly bloomed in winter. The standing human sword masters had not recovered from their shock, and they were stunned when they heard the pleasant voice of Mingxiu's clear magnetic force. Especially the members of the royal family of the underworld palace felt that their eyes were going to be blinded. It was the first time they had seen Ming Xiu smiling so happily. His smile used to be arrogant, but always carried a kind of alienation and arrogance, but now it can be seen that he is happy from the heart. The ninth brother's eyes are really vicious, and he can find a woman like Lum Weian. The seventh prince saw Lum Weian's violent and powerful attitude just now, and he couldn't help but regret in his heart that he was missed. Lum Weian couldn't do that kind of shyness of a gentle woman. She likes to be clear and public, but not obsessed and annoying. This kind of temperament is very special. Actually, Miss Lu is not lucky. It's not easy to find a man like ninth brother who doesn't care. It's rare to find a man who is tempted and dedicated. The eighth princess smiled enviously. She still has a good impression of Lum Weian, but thinks that she is more fortunate, but she doesn't have much jealousy. The faces of the Lan family were very complicated. On the one hand, they hoped that Ming Xiu and Lum Weian could solve the realm in the river and the slaughtered monsters, but on the other hand, they did not want to see the strength of the two. Lan Yanhuan still wore an elegant smile, but his heart was filled with a haze. Seeing that his old rival could be so lucky to find such a special woman to accompany him for the rest of his life, for the first time in his heart, he was a little more jealous of Ming Xiu in addition to being competitive. Although there are many powerful women in the world where strength is the most important, most of them are still vassal men. Finding a powerful man with a strong background to marry is the goal of many women. But the more powerful, tough, and emotionally indifferent most men are, the more they want to find a woman who can stand by their side. After all, the higher the cultivation base, the longer the lifespan, and it is also a pleasure to have someone to accompany you to climb to a high place to watch the scenery. Are you willing to let him be robbed? Lan Yanhuan's slightly sarcastic voice sounded in Lan Ruoshui's mind. Lan Ruoshui's face was indifferent as she had never changed. She replied lightly, "Why not? No one can control Ming Xiu. Don't forget our agreement." Lan Yanhuan squinted his eyes and continued to transmit. Lan Ruoshui sneered, "You guys played tricks on Ming Xiu's clone and used my position in the Underworld Alliance Chamber of Commerce to control the Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce. Do you think he doesn't know?" "So what if you know?" Lan Yanhuan said indifferently. "The Underworld Alliance Chamber of Commerce was established by my aunt, and the Lan family's credit is indispensable. Why can't I participate?" "You can do what you like." "He must have known that our previous cooperative relationship is very protective of me now," Lan Ruoshui replied. She just thought it was funny. The Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce was established by Anti and Underworld Emperor back then, and it had nothing to do with the Lan family. Those immortals always exaggerate the thought that the Lan family should get a share of the efforts among the disciples that the family focuses on training, which is too shameless. "You want to break the contract?" Lan Yanhuan threatened. Lan Ruoshui's eyes were cold, and her voice was sarcastic. "Do you still want to threaten my brother? Whatever you do, I won't cooperate with you again." She really hated the Lan family. Lan Yanhuan, Xianxia, who had been sent to various small secret realms for many years, had been brainwashed by the hypocritical ancestors of the Lan family. She was powerless to change his thoughts, but she would no longer suffer they threaten. Ming Xiu had already promised to help her protect her younger brother. Naturally, she would no longer have to worry about it. She would definitely destroy the Lan family. Fortunately, she was threatened to cooperate and did not leak the top secret information of the Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce, otherwise she would be really ashamed of her aunt's protection and love for her. Her so-called love for Ming Xiu was also an illusion created by the Lan family. His good father and stepmother always wanted to use her as a concubine to consolidate their status in the Lan family, which was ridiculous and sad. In the past, she had to use this cover to do some things so she didn't refute, but now seeing Ming Xiu and Lum Weian in love with each other intimately, she couldn't feel any sadness or sourness in her heart. "Lan Ruoshui, don't regret it," Lan Yanhuan said lightly. He still admires this cousin, but she is so ignorant. When the ancestors blame him, he will not be able to intercede. Anyone born in the Lan family has difficulties that cannot be explained, so why not he? But so what? I never regret anything I do, Lan Ruoshui replied. Lan Yan sighed with joy, I hope you don't follow Ant's old ways. Hearing Lan Yanhuan's words, Lan Ruoshui's body froze, her hands in her sleeves were tightly clasped together, and she stopped talking. She wanted to destroy the Lan family even more. But she still needs to work hard. Her strength alone is really too small. The Lan family is not as simple as it appears from the outside. She cast her eyes on Mingxiu and Lum Weian, and fell into deep thought. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 735. After breaking the water domain, Lum Weian and Mingxiu joined hands to kill the high-level monsters that appeared in the river, and the natives on the other side were successfully scared away. Their speed is so fast, Lum Weian frowned as he looked at the native who disappeared in front of everyone in an instant. Mingxiu squinted his phoenix eyes and said, what acceleration techniques should they use, plus they are familiar with the terrain here, it is not easy for us to intercept and kill them. Then let them go back and report the letter. Lum Weian hooked her lips, I believe we will meet again soon. These indigenous people are very strong in comprehending the laws of Yuan Li attributes, but judging from the weapons they hold, they are inferior, which proves that their civilization is not developed, but their strength is very strong. There should be some hidden reasons for this. Especially the monsters in the heavenly origin realm with very low intelligence that they killed in the river just now, she felt that there were some secrets hidden in the Kanglan secret realm. This may be another test question for them by the powerhouses of the human domain continent. Well, we were attacked by the beast tide before, and it should have come from the indigenous hands of these half-human half-beasts. Mingxiu nodded, there should be messengers behind them. I guessed like this too, Lum Weian said. The two solved everyone's problems. Although many people were very interested in the materials on the corpses of the monsters that Lum Weian had put away, no one dared to ask for it. They really can't afford to provoke these two killing gods, so they can only hide, otherwise no one will come forward when they are beaten to death. Ninth Prince, Miss Lu, thank you for your help this time, we still have one step ahead. The leader of a big family hugged his hands and said to the two with gratitude, let's take my leave. Yeah, Mingxiu replied lightly. After that, the people here came one after another to say goodbye to the two, including the Lan family and the second prince. When they were almost gone, the disciples of the five major forces stayed behind. Mu Yan, we discussed it just now, and it seems that doing the task together is too much time consuming, so the disciples of the five major forces should be separated temporarily, and wait until the depths of Kanglan's secret realm to be together. And Yukian came over and smiled and looked at Lum Yan said. Lum Weian nodded, there were too many people and the goal was too big, and it was not conducive to finding the baby to do the task. Well, good. So the disciples of the other four major forces said goodbye to them one after another. In the end, the royal family of the underworld palace brought by Mingxiu and Lum Weian and the team of the mercenary union went across the river to the next mission point. In Tandy Cave Mansion, the top powerhouses in the human domain sat together to watch the movements in the Kanglan secret realm. The strength of the stinky boy and the little girl is actually so strong the ancestor of the Ming family couldn't help but marvel. The ancestor of the Feng family looked relieved, yeah. They can set up the prototype of the realm in the realm of heaven and man, and there is a 90% hope of advancing to the fusion realm in the future. The other powerhouses were slightly surprised when they saw the strength displayed by the two. After all, the two of them were too young to develop with such a powerful and abnormal talent, and it is possible to overdo them in the future. They did a good job, the expressionless young man sitting on the head said lightly. His words made the people present startled, and if he could praise him well, he must have performed very well. Domain Lord, the natives of the Kanglan secret realm seem to be restless. The ancestor of the mercenary union thought for a while and said. The young man glanced at the water curtain indifferently and said, "It should be their king who broke through. They want to take this opportunity to eradicate the human swordsman, or they want to make some trouble and escape from the Kanglan secret realm. The natives in the Kanglan mystery realm can grow to such a degree that there are also the indulgences of the powerhouses in the human realm. First, they can train the disciples of the genius generation in the human realm. Second, they can train these natives to advanced levels and study them to see why they have such an incomprehensible comprehension. Aren't the disciples who entered the Kanglan secret realm dangerous?" One of the strong men frowned unconsciously. Most of their family's elite disciples were sent to the Kanglan secret realm this time, and they would suffer heavy losses if there was an accident. Yet, in the past, it was difficult to deal with the water domain and the group of high-level and low-intelligence monsters. The deeper you go, the more dangerous it is. "Where is the territory of the indigenous people?" another said. "Those natives secretly cultivated such high-level and low-intelligence monsters behind their backs. We need to pay attention to this. Some people are more interested in the origin of those monsters." A group of powerhouses were talking at length, all of which wanted to express one thing: it was too unsafe in the Kanglan secret realm. The young man in the first seat is also the strongest swordsman in the human domain, and he is called the Domain Master. If you can't deal with this danger, there is only one way to go: to the battlefield outside the domain. The domain owner has lived for so many years and has already seen through life and death. This time there is a crisis, but it is also an opportunity. "Domain Lord, please make it clear," old ancestor Ming couldn't help asking, because it involved the disciples of the Imperial family of the underworld. If those indigenous people have any conspiracy to attack in a series, they will naturally attract the attention of those little guys. Maybe any little guy can discover the secrets of the indigenous people in the Kanglan secret realm. The domain owner said indifferently, "Those natives have slowly appeared since the birth of the Kanglan secret realm. It has been tens of thousands of years so far. If any little guy can find their nest, there must be countless treasures." The other powerhouses present couldn't help but twitch the corners of their mouths. When they found their old nest, they went to die, right? And the native's lair is not so easy to find. But the domain owner is not a person who likes to joke, and he must have his reasons for saying such things. Is there really a little guy who is going to explode his luck this time? The powerhouses of the Kanglan secret realm fusion realm cannot enter, so they can only suppress the natives of the Kanglan secret realm and cannot come out, but they cannot completely control their counterattack. That kid and girl might be able to seize this opportunity after a while. The domain master spoke. Old ancestor Ming and old ancestor Feng were not so objective. How could the secrets of the natives be so easy to discover? It would be too arrogant to go to other people's nests to find treasures. Although the stinky boy and the little girl have some talents, they still have many shortcomings. The domain master praised them. Emperor Ming turned his mind and said with a light smile, "I'm more optimistic about them." The domain owner looked up at Hades and said, "How about adding a mission to the two of them?" Benefits. The color in Emperor Ming's eyes gradually deepened, and he said bluntly, "Although the domain lord is the #1 powerhouse in the human domain, his hidden deity cultivation base can also confront the opponent head-on, so he respects the domain lord but will not deliberately cater to it. Of course, only the Emperor Hades here would dare to bargain with the domain master so recklessly and arrogantly. If they complete the task, I will accept the two of them as direct disciples," the domain master said after hesitating. Hearing his words, everyone present showed a shocked look. This person has never been a direct disciple for tens of thousands of years. It seems that Lum Wan and Ming Xiu really caught his eye this time, otherwise they would not want to make an exception. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world. BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 736. Everyone in the mercenary union had different tasks. Lum Weian's task was located in the depths of the Likanglan secret realm, and it was the most difficult one. I searched for the mission location of several people along the way, and encountered a lot of high-level spirit grass and spirit objects, and everyone shared a share. There were shadows of indigenous people at the mission location. Among them, they also encountered two groups of monsters with high level and low intelligence similar to those that appeared in the middle of the river, but they soon died in the hands of Lum Weian and Mingxiu. A month later, they completed a mission in the swamp, leaving only Lum Weian and Anyukian unfinished. Why do I feel that the further we go deeper into the secret realm, the fewer monsters or natives will attack us? Now that we are doing a mission, there are basically no natives except to protect the monsters, Xia Yexuan said suspiciously. Anyukian chuckled lightly, those natives are not fools. Every time they send a trained Tianyuan realm monster to appear, not only will they not be able to hurt us at all, but they will all be killed, so the idea of hitting us should also fade away because of this. Others also agreed with Anyukian's words. If they had to face the two killing gods, Lum Weian and Mingxiu, they would also choose to retreat. I always think this is the tranquility before the storm, Lum Weian shrugged, but her eyes were a little complicated. Her sixth sense is very strong. They can't be so smooth in the Kanglan secret realm this time, there must be a bigger storm waiting for them. No matter what, we should be careful, Mingxiu said to the two teams. The group rested for a while and continued on their way, during which two secret communication talismans fell into the hands of Lum Weian and Mingxiu. The two looked at each other in astonishment, and after checking that there was nothing wrong, they opened it and looked at it again. After the two read it, the communication talisman was automatically turned into ashes. Yanur, did you also receive a mission from the headquarters of the Human Domain Alliance? Mingxiu sent a voice transmission to Lum Weian after reading the communication. Lum Weian asked suspiciously, well, I got it. What kind of organization will the Human Domain Alliance be? The Human Territory Alliance is an organization established by the powerhouses who integrate the human domain and the human realm. It belongs to the highest decision-making organization of the human race. As long as any major events related to the human territory occur, the Alliance will arrange it uniformly. They seldom issue orders or tasks to the outside world. Generally, such a situation is a major event, Mingxiu added. Lum Weian frowned slightly, then why did you give us a mission? This task is difficult to complete. Maybe the powerhouses of the Human Domain Alliance think that the two of us have a better chance of accomplishing it, Mingxiu said helplessly. The powerhouses in the fusion realm cannot enter the secret realm of Kanglan. Is your mission also to find the nests of the natives of the Kanglan secret realm, and to investigate their comprehension and the secrets of cultivating high-level and low-intelligence monsters? Lum Weian's tone was relatively certain. Yes, we both have the same mission. Meditation thought for a while and said, the task is attached. Only two people know to assist in completing this task in the human domain, and they cannot be disclosed to others. They must be watching the movements in the secret realm of Kanglan, and they will announce it when they know that we are together. Such a task. They really see us, Lum Weian smiled. She didn't reject this task much, but she also felt that it was difficult to complete, but the greater the difficulty, the higher the challenge, and she liked to challenge extreme abilities. I don't know what they said in the end, that there will be a big surprise reward for completing the task. What kind of thing? Lum Weian was still more interested in the task reward. The two said it through sound transmission, and if they had a direct conversation with the senior leaders of the Domain Alliance, they would definitely die of laughter. In Lum Weian's eyes, since their noble and powerful domain master has become a thing, it is conceivable that Domain Chief will definitely turn black when he hears it. The Human Domain Alliance will be composed of the most powerful people in the human domain. Their big surprise reward will definitely not be bad. Mingxiu smiled and shook Lum Weian's hand. The look of her little money fan can always sway his heart. If it weren't for the wrong occasion, he would want to hold her in his arms and kiss her fiercely. Then if we break through to the fusion of heaven and human, will we join the human domain alliance? Lum Wen asked. Ming Xiu nodded. This is natural, as long as the strong people who reach the fusion of heaven and human are required to join the human domain alliance, even if it is just a name. If they encounter matters related to the life and death of the human race, they must lead by example. Bow down. Lum Wen was still deeply touched when she heard Ming Xiu's words. Perhaps it was because of the alliance of such top powerhouses that human domain would be so stable for so many years. Do the other three domains have similar organizations? Lum Wen asked after thinking for a while. If the demon domain also has such an organization, then it would be a bit troublesome for her and Mo Yan to take revenge, and the same is true for the demon domain. No, the human realm is the most united of the four realms. The demon realm is governed by the 9 demon kings, the sea area is governed by the 4 sea kings, the demon realm is ruled by the devil temple, and the 5 devil kings are in charge. The unity and cohesion are not as strong as the human race repair explanation. Lum Wen put a smile on his lips. That's good. Does Yan'er want to avenge Mo Yan and regain his position as the demon king? Ming Xiu asked with a heartbeat. Well, after taking revenge for Mo Yan, go to Moyu to help Jun Luokan regain the position of demon lord. Lum Wen's eyes turned cold, to save those saints and saints from staring at me all the time. Since she came to the Guangling realm, she has been assassinated by more than 10 waves, all of which are masterpieces of the demon race. She is a person who will be punished, and she will not forget about those assassinations. I'll accompany you when the time comes. Ming Xiu held Lum Wen's hand and said, slightly wronged, don't let me go. Lum Wen looked at Ming Xiu, who sounded like a resentful woman, and teased, don't worry, you are a must-have choice for home travel. Ming Xiu chuckled softly, reached out and pinched Lum Wen's nose. Good. The people from the Nether Palace royal family and the mercenary union were walking behind the two of them, and they felt like they wanted to poke their own eyes. Do they want to show their affection anytime and anywhere, and specifically abuse them as lonely people? In particular, the 7th prince had itchy teeth. He thought that he was also loved by everyone outside, and there were beauties to accompany him wherever he went. Now that his 9th younger brother has no interest in him, he has returned to the big beauty. Why does he have to accompany a group of men on constant missions to fight? It's really boring. There are many people who enter the secret realm, but there are no people as relaxed as Lum Wen's group. They don't have endless talismans and formation balls, let alone stealth talismans. Every time they go to a mission point, they will be besieged by the natives and monsters of the Kanglan secret realm, and many geniuses will perish. On this day, as soon as several people arrived at Anyukian's mission site, they found that there was a fierce fighting atmosphere in front of them. Lum Wen looked into the distance, her expression suddenly condensed, and she said to Ming Xiu, there is a brother's aura there, let's go and see. She said the whole person disappeared in place. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 737. The senior brother Ming Xiu in Lum Wen's mouth guessed who it was as soon as he heard it. He said something casually to the others and disappeared. Senior brother? Does junior sister Lu still have a senior brother? Yanjing asked curiously. Anyukian shook his head. I don't know, the mercenary union didn't come with us except the 6 of us. Muyan might be talking about someone else. Let's take a look too, Xia Yexuan said. He was actually curious about who the senior brother who could make Lum Wen change his face. Ahead, Lum Wen walked quickly to the place where the fight was taking place. I saw that 6 people were besieged by a group of natives, and there were constantly high-level and low-intelligence monsters emerging from the ground. The strength of the 6 people is good, but under the group attack, they began to lose their strength gradually, and they were all injured. What do we do? One of them asked. If it really doesn't work, Just activate the teleportation talisman given by the ancestor the leading man's side. That's our life-saving means, is it used now, said one person. Otherwise, what else can we do? We can't get rid of these natives and monsters now. If we drag it on and wait for the energy in our body to be exhausted, there will only be a dead end, another woman said. The 5 people who spoke seemed to have a good relationship, but there was only one gentle man in white, who seemed to be incompatible with them, and his face was indifferent. He is holding a silver long sword, and every time he randomly swings the approaching monster, it will immediately turn into an ice sculpture. His actual combat ability is very strong, so the indigenous people command more monsters to besiege. As soon as Lum Wan arrived, she saw Sujin and the others caught in the siege of monsters and indigenous people. Her eyes turned cold, and she let the red bees out, and she also jumped into the battle circle. When the Aborigines saw Lum Wan and the red bees, they all turned pale with fright. Those monsters with low intelligence in the Tianyuan realm were dragged into the ground by their blood and sucked, leaving only the materials that could be used for refining tools and talismans. Lum Wan joined the battle for only a moment. The natives fled as if they had seen a ghost, and the monsters were also wiped out. The trapped people were stunned. Senior brother Lum Wan walked up to Sujin and smiled brightly. Sujin's indifferent and alienated eyes were instantly dyed with a soft smile. He reached out and touched Lum Wan's head. Yanur. Senior brother, you won't come to me when you arrive in the Guangling realm, Lum Wan pouted. Sujin had a bit of doting in his eyes, and Junyi's face was full of smiles. The way I went to the Guangling realm is a little different. I thought that if I didn't meet you in the secret realm of Kanglan, I would go to the mercenary union. Find you. Senior brother knows my news, Lum Wan blinked. You are now a celebrity in Zhongzhou City, Sujin smiled gracefully. The other 5 didn't know Lum Wan, and they couldn't help but be surprised to see that Sujin, who has always been salty and indifferent, showed such a soft and indulgent look. 8th brother, who is this young lady? The rather handsome man in the lead asked with a smile. Sujinkin introduced with a smile, this is my junior sister Lum Wan. Lum Wan, the leading man said in surprise, Lum Wan, the champion in this alchemy competition. The Su family is a family of spirit wine. Although they live in Zhongzhou City, they are located in a pure spiritual spring far away from the city. Therefore, only a few of the family's disciples rushed to watch the alchemy competition. At that time, several of them were sent to a small secret realm to find a kind of high-grade spirit fruit for brewing spirit wine. After they came out, they heard about the alchemy competition, and Lum Wan's name had already become famous at that time. Only know that he has never seen him. I didn't expect that I would be so famous now. Lum Wan touched her nose helplessly. You know that you are famous, Sujin chuckled lightly and looked up to greet Ming Xiu, who came over. Brother Ming, long time no see. Brother Su. The evil feeling on Ming Xiu's face subsided a lot after seeing Sujin, and there was a gentle smile between his brows. Several other members of the Su family were stunned when they saw Ming Xiu's appearance, and they were relieved when they thought of the rumors about Lum Wan and the 9th prince. Senior brother, are you going to the depths of the secret realm? Lum Wan naturally found that Sujin had a faint sense of alienation from the 5. Sujin nodded, we are going to find several kinds of spirit fruits for making spirit wine in the secret realm of Kanglan. Then come with us. Lum Wan ignored the 5 members of the Su family and looked at Sujin seriously. After she learned from the Murong brothers how the Su family cultivated direct disciples, she was always a little nervous. She always felt that the Su family put the senior brothers in the lower realm and gave up more than training. 8th brother, you. Before the leader could finish speaking, Sujin spoke first. Brother, my junior sister and I haven't seen each other for a long time. It's the same whether you are looking for a spiritual fruit or not. I will bring the token to you. Sujin handed a green token to the man. The leading man frowned, took it after a while, and said helplessly, okay, the 8th brother, be careful. Okay, Sujin nodded lightly. After Lu Muan and his party left with Sujin, the faces of the Su family were not very good. What does Sujin mean? Is this going to act alone? Said one of the hot-tempered men displeased. I'm afraid he doesn't want to be with us at all, the only woman said lightly. Yeah. His attitude towards us has always been calm and indifferent, and there is always a sense of alienation in his body. I always thought that he was such a cold temperament. It can be seen that Lu Muan and Mingxiu seem to have changed a person. Said another man. The leader sighed and said, it's understandable for him to do so. If the things of the year were changed to him, maybe he would not be able to get close to the people of the Su family. Is he still blaming the patriarch for putting him in the lower realm? The hot-tempered man continued, the family's direct line will be placed in the lower realm, no exception. I don't know what he is being hypocritical. Yeah, and the owner takes good care of him, and even loves him very much. He still looks like he doesn't pay attention to him, which is too unflattering. That's not because he is the only biological son of the owner of the family. After he came, the fourth brother's position in the family became a lot more embarrassing, the woman snorted coldly. The leading man shook his head and said solemnly, there are some things you don't know, don't save others and speculate randomly. Big brother, did something happen to Sujin and the head of the family? The woman asked curiously. I'm not very clear about the specifics. You don't want to ask, it's not our turn to discuss the matter of the patriarch. The leading man waved his hand, obviously unwilling to say more. Although he knew a little about the matter between the head of the family and Sujin's father and son, he did not dare to spread it out indiscriminately. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 738. Lu Muan and his party found a hidden hole in the hole and drilled in to take a rest. She dragged Sujin and Mingxiu into the innermost cave, crushing a soundproof array ball, and no one outside found it. Senior brother, when did you teleport to the Guangling world? Lu Muan paused and said, did the space node go wrong again, so it didn't fly to the connection point? Not long after you left, I reached the Danyuan realm and soared to the Guangling realm. Sujin continued, there is no error in the space node, but I have a mark made by the Su family on my body. After appearing in the Guangling world, it also falls on the territory of the Su family, so the news has not been leaked. He already knew the identity of Mingxiu, and guessed that he might find someone to squat at the contact point of the human race to check the news of their ascension. So that's the case. Lu Muan raised his eyebrows slightly. Senior brother, those 5 were brothers to you just now. I don't think you are close to them. They are my cousins, and I don't have many feelings between them. Sujin's eyes didn't have many emotional ups and downs. This time they entered the Kanglan secret realm with me just because I got a piece by chance. Token. The Su family didn't auction the token, Mingxiu asked suspiciously. The Su family is very famous in the mainland of Zhongzhou. Although the overall strength can only be ranked among the first-class forces, but because it is a family of spirit wine masters and has opened Zizalo, it is reluctantly squeezed into the category of top forces. Spiritualist is the most popular profession in the mainland, and it also represents unlimited connections, so few people dare to despise or offend the Su family. After all, the old men from the Human Domain Alliance often ask the senior spirit sommeliers of the Su family to help brew spirit wine. In addition to paying the remuneration, they also owe the debt of favor. No matter where Sujin is, the sense of elegance and nobility on her body will unconsciously show. I took a piece, but it's all given to the elite team of the Su family. Lu Muan frowned and asked, Senior brother, are you really related to the Su family? Seeing that Sujin's indifferent eyes quickly flashed a sad emotion, she added, if senior brother finds it inconvenient, don't say it. If the matter of the Su family is unpleasant and painful for Sujin, then she doesn't want to expose his scars. Sujin shook his head and smiled lightly, there is nothing inconvenient to say, in my heart only you and the master are the closest people. Senior brother is also my important relative. Lum Wan had a firm look on his face. Sujin took more care of her when she was in Tianling continent. After getting along with her, she also classified him as her own. He regarded her as a relative, and so did she. Do you know the way the Su family cultivates the bloodline? Hearing Lum Wan's words, Sujin's eyes were full of warmth. No, I heard that it is the same as the royal family of the underworld, sending the blood of the direct line to the lower realm for cultivation. Lum Wan said, the disciples can reach the Danyuan realm and ascend to the Guangling realm by themselves, and then they can return to the family, but if they don't break through and ascend, they will die in the lower realm all their lives. By the way, I also heard that the elders of the Su family will use a special method to seal the memory of the direct bloodline when they are sent to the lower realm. Only when they ascend to the Guangling realm will they be affected by the interface and automatically break the seal. Sujin nodded, what you know is fairly detailed. So the senior brother is actually the direct bloodline of the Su family. Lum Wan found out that the previous guesses seemed to be close to the truth. I am the only son of the current patriarch of the Su family. I was born with absolute talent, and I am the best among the younger generation tested in the family. Sujin turned his eyes into the distance and gradually fell into memories. But like you said before, stepping forward gave me extraordinary talent, but it gave me a weak body. If the stubborn ailments of my body cannot be cured, I will never become a sommelier in my life. The Su family hired a lot of high-level pharmacists and alchemists to treat me, but they came to the conclusion that they can't live for 100 years at most, and the cultivation base is the sword god. If you want to force a breakthrough, more than half will die. Possible. Hearing Sujin's plain words, Lum Wan's heart tightened. Seeing the distress in her eyes, Sujin smiled and patted her head and continued, the Su family has rules. All talented children in the direct line will be sent to the lower interface to cultivate experience after the age of 6. Of course, there are exceptions. For example, if the talent is not good, or the bloodline of the direct line that cannot become a wine master can make an exception and not be placed in the lower realm, but it will be sent to a remote city of the family, and those who have the ability can return to the home. Senior brother has a congenital stubborn illness and it is reasonable to say that he doesn't need to be sent to the lower realm. Could it be that the top of the Su family did it on purpose? Lum Wan's face was slightly cold. Originally, it was inevitable to be sent to the lower realm with my talent, but I have a congenital stubborn disease and it is impossible to become a spirit sommelier, so under normal circumstances, I will be sent to the border town for training. Sujin's eyes showed a bit of irony. At that time, my father just took over as the head of the family. He insisted on treating them equally in the clan, so he decided to send me to the lower realm together. Although my mind was complicated at the time, I could understand it. He was plagued by stubborn illnesses and was often alone, and he liked to read books, so his mind was relatively precocious. I have no complaints, and I have even been guilty of dragging down my parents' reputation. Immediately, he turned around and said coldly, but everything changed the day before the transmission. I was going to say goodbye to my parents that day but overheard their conversation. It turns out that equal treatment is just an excuse. As the head of the family and the head's wife, how can they have a son who will shame them, a son who may stop at sword god forever, and even if he is treated with good medicine, he can only live to 100 years old at most. Son. A son who may never be a sommelier. My mother couldn't give birth after recovering from a serious injury. He closed his eyes and continued with a slightly sarcastic tone, so they adopted a child who was very talented as a spirit drinker when I was 2 years old, known as the 4th young master in the Su family, and is also the current young master of the Su family. I later learned that the reason why I was able to enter the courtyard of the patriarch of the Su family without anyone's notification was the masterpiece of the 4th young master 5 years older than me. Did you enter the courtyard and the Su family's owner and his wife didn't find your breath? Ming Xiu asked suspiciously. Suchen has a jade pendant given by his ancestors that can hide his breath. When I went to the yard, he temporarily lent me to wear it and coaxed me to tell my parents a surprise. At that time, I was too young and didn't think too much and was fooled. Sujin. It was only after he returned to the Guangling realm that his memories were unsealed. He realized that Suchen had already had such deep scheming at that time. But he is also glad about this, glad to hear the conversation between the couple and understand the truth. Lum Wan clenched his fists and really had the urge to rush to Su's house to beat him up. She thought for a while and asked, "Senior brother, isn't Suchen the illegitimate son of your patriarch's father outside?" You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 739. Sujin was stunned when he heard Lum Wan's question, and then a helpless smile appeared on the elegant Jun's face. No, Suchen is indeed not the biological son of Patriarch Su. Since he heard the truth that time, he has never called the head of the Su family as his father and the mistress of the Su family as his mother. Since he can sit in the position of the young master, isn't there any objection from the Su family? Lum Wan asked in confusion. Listening to senior brother's tone, the seniors of the Su family were very optimistic about that Suchen, but wouldn't he be afraid of being attacked if he didn't have blood? Although Suchen is not the bloodline of the Su family head, he is also related to the Su family. Sujin continued, his mother was the younger sister of the head of the Su family. After getting married, she and her husband died when they went on an adventure to a secret realm. At that time, Suchen's talent had not yet been revealed, and it was not easy to live in the family. After hearing about it, the patriarch of the Su family went to that family to pick up Suchen, who was not taken seriously. Later, when they discovered that Suchen's talent was activated, he had a very pure Su family bloodline and he had a good talent as a spirit drinker. The couple took him as their adopted son and cultivated him from an early age. Suchen is not the direct bloodline of the patriarch of the Su family, so although the spirit master's talent is excellent, he doesn't need to be sent to the lower realm. Lum Wan tapped lightly on the rock he was sitting on with his fingers, squinted his eyes slightly and asked, "But if the Su family's head and his wife insist on sending him to the small interface for training?" "Well," Sujin said with a wry smile, "because of this, if I stay in the family like him, the head of the family may be criticized, so he killed his relatives righteously and chose me to be exiled from the world. When they chose to send you to the lower realm, they gave up on you." Lum Wan felt very sad. She didn't expect senior brother to have such parents. After knowing the truth, the senior brother will definitely be much sadder than the Su family in Tianling continent. After all, he never had any expectations for the parents who were not his own. Well, they finally chose to give up on me. Sujin smiled slightly, and the sadness in his eyes had long since dissipated. Every direct disciple who is sent to the lower realm has a person who can provide most of the resources to cultivate to the spiritual realm of the Danyuan realm, but mine didn't. They only put a lot of spiritual stones in my space ring, and all the training resources are saved. Sujin laughed at himself. They want me to stay in the lower realm for the rest of my life. Later, when they found out that what they said was heard by me, they even said it was for my own good. Sujin's face was a bit complicated. They said that staying in the Su family with a physique like mine is not the best choice. It is better to go to the lower realm to be a rich son of a rich family who has no memory of his life in the Guangling world, and cultivate to the sword god. It is also a strong person in the lower realm. He will never forget the heart-wrenching moment when he heard the two most important people in his heart talk about his belonging and gave up on himself, so he accidentally made a sound to attract their attention. They are just making excuses for their irresponsible behavior, Lum Wan said disdainfully. Maybe they thought about making a better choice for you, but who can guarantee you can do it after you reach the lower realm? A rich boy lives happily. The most important thing is that they arbitrarily want to decide the life of the senior brother, and there is no respect at all. If it wasn't for the sincere protection of the Su family's ancestor in Tianling continent, maybe her senior brother would have been killed by the couple who didn't like him. They just comfort themselves and want to get spiritual relief, and do the most selfish things in the name of your own good. It's disgusting. Lum Weian bluntly expressed her disgust for the Su family's head and husband and wife. Sujin knew that Lum Weian had always been a person with clear love and hatred, and being able to get such an angry attack from her showed that he was still more important in her heart, and that was enough. He was completely disappointed with those two people from the day they were 6 years old, and so were the so-called relatives. Well, so I can't get close to the people of the Su family. Sujin smiled to reassure Lum Weian, you don't need to be annoyed anymore, it's just some irrelevant people. Then senior brother, why didn't you leave the Su family when you ascended to the Guangling realm? Lum Weian's anger did not disappear because of Sujin's comfort, but even more annoyed, did they threaten you? That's not true. I have the imprint of the Su family on me, so I landed on the Su family's territory as soon as I ascended. Sujin paused and said, they were shocked when they found me. I asked to leave at the time, but it was delayed because of a blood problem. Bloodline, Lum Weian asked with a frown. Well, the bloodline of the Su family will be cast on a spell since childhood. Unless you have made a great contribution to the family or you need to complete a few tasks to get out of the Su family, you will be attacked by inner demons. They wanted me to return to the Su family, but I refused, so I received a few tasks, and I could leave the Su family as long as I finished it. Sujin sighed and said, that's why I didn't come to you in a hurry. The Su family is really perverted and inhumane. For the benefit of the family has been wiped out. Lum Weian was very disgusted with this kind of family that blindly pursued prosperity. She thought of a question, senior brother, after your stubborn illness is cured, you can feel the ice attribute energy, does that mean that you also have the talent of a spirit wine master? She remembered that her former senior brother could not perceive the ice element energy attribute, but in the battle just now, his ice element energy attribute had obviously reached the perfect state. The most important thing is that only the senior brother is very useful to the Su family. That kind of family will want to use blood to restrain him from leaving, otherwise he is willing to leave the Su family. Maybe it is what they once hoped. Of course, there may be other hidden feelings, but if it was her, she would not be able to accept such feelings. Yanner is as smart as ever. Sujin chuckled lightly. How many tasks do you have for senior brother? Lum Weian continued to ask. There are 5 tasks in total. I have done the other 4, and the last one is left. Sujin said, it just so happens that this task will be completed in the Kanglan secret realm. Then complete this task, and then cut off the relationship with the Su family. Lum Weian hummed, we must slap the Su family hard. Isn't the Su family more high-level sommeliers? What's so great? Since senior brother can become a sommelier by eradicating stubborn diseases, his future achievements will definitely not be low based on the peerless talent that God has given him. When the time comes, let the Su family see what kind of peerless high-level sommelier they gave up. Regardless of whether the senior brother still remembers hating the Su family, she must speak out. She will not let anyone bully the people she values. Okay, if Yanner is happy, I'll play with you for a while. Sujin felt warm in her heart. Originally, he only wanted to leave the Su family, and he didn't want to care about his past grievances, but since Lum Weian wanted to play, he would play with her enough. Anyway, he didn't have the slightest friendship with the Su family, but a disgust. Count me in. Mingxiu pursed his lips. The relatives that Yanner protects from his family are naturally the ones he wants to protect, and the people who dare to bully them like this, the Su family is really good. If you don't kill them, I'm really sorry for the time-honored brand of Sujiaxizaolo. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 740. After a night of rest in the cave, Lum Wan and the others set off for the depths of the secret realm early the next morning. "Senior brother, what is your last secret realm mission?" Lum Wan asked Sujin, looking sideways. Sujin trusted Lum Wan. "There is a kind of spiritual spring water that can brew a 9th grade spirit wine in the indigenous tribe of Kanglin's secret realm. My task is to take a pot back." "Spiritual spring water, lead? Just take a pot to produce more spiritual spring water?" Lum Wan asked, blinking her eyes, with a bit of interest on her face. "Well, I heard that the kind of spiritual spring water is very precious. As long as you get a pot, it will continuously produce spiritual spring water that can brew 9th-grade spirit wine, and it can last for 100 years. Sujin added cautiously, "However, this kind of spiritual spring water is also a precious thing for the indigenous people, and it is difficult to obtain." Lum Wan lowered her eyes coldly. "The Su family actually asks you to do such a dangerous task of lurking into the native tribe's lair to get spiritual spring water? It's too much. If it wasn't for the blood spell that was cast when the Su family was born on her brother, she would have wanted to directly overturn the Su family. Hey! They didn't ask me to get it at all costs. Just let me do my best. If the mission fails, I can take other missions." Sujin sighed. He wasn't partial to the Su family, but he just didn't want Lum Wan to worry too much about him. He knew that the responsibilities and burdens on her were not light. "Does that Suchen have a mission?" Lum Wan asked. Sujin shook his head. "I'm not too sure. There should be. He is the young master established by the Su family, and he won't come to the secret realm for nothing." "Is he still plotting against you now?" Lum Wan's eyes revealed undisguised killing intent. Sujin's indifferent eyes gradually turned cold. "Since I returned to Su's house, he has been attracting his direct disciples to reject me, but he did it very secretly and created a situation where he seemed to be embarrassed because of my presence. He may be afraid that I will grab his position, so there are indeed endless means to target me secretly." Seeing the murderous intent and distress in Lum Wan's eyes, he smiled and patted her head. "When I was not 6 years old, he secretly made me a cripple and I basically repaid it." Lum Wan hooked her lips and smiled. "There is no need to keep such a scourge. If it happens, let him go back and forth. His senior brother's temperament is relatively indifferent, but he is not a soft-hearted person. It is definitely a scourge to keep someone like Suchen. If he kills him, he will kill him." After going out, she is not afraid of the Su family's revenge. "Okay," Sujin nodded. Suchen secretly made the cramps light, and this time he secretly planned to keep him from going back in the secret realm, so why didn't he repay the other party 1 or 2? As for how the couple will get angry at that time, it has nothing to do with him, he doesn't care. "Let's sneak into the native's lair and act alone," Lum Wan whispered to Mingxiu. "If they follow along, it will be difficult for them to complete the task. There are too many people and the target is too large, and it is easy to reveal even if you use an invisibility charm, and the tasks of her and Mingxiu cannot be revealed." "Well, I think so too," Mingxiu nodded. "Let's finish your mission in the mercenary union first, and escort them safely to the depths of the secret realm to find an opportunity before leaving." "It is good." Lum Wan's mission in the mercenary union was to find a rare heaven-level spirit and go back, and the map had been handed over to her along with the mission. "Mu Yan, you are about to arrive at your mission, let's be careful," An Yukian stepped forward and reminded. "Well, I found that there is a very strong aura ahead." Lum Wan's eyes showed an enthusiastic fighting intent. Seeing this, An Yukian and others knew what she was thinking, and couldn't help but twitch the corners of her mouth. Women like Lum Wan are really rare. When the group arrived at the mission location, there was a flood dragon hovering at the peak of the Tianyuan realm, and the breath exuding from the whole body was very strong, which was comparable to a powerhouse who stepped into the initial fusion realm with half a foot. "The trespasser is dead." Before waiting for the group to make any move, the golden yellow Xiaolong stared at the crowd with icy cold eyes. Lum Wan geared up and said to the others, It's given to me. Okay, everyone nodded helplessly. Several people in the mercenary union were still a little worried about whether Lum Wen could deal with this Xiaolong. After all, the cultivation level of this monster has surpassed the Tianyuan realm. Before Lum Wen started, Jin Xiaolong took the lead to attack, and the prototype of the metallic domain enveloped the group. She raised her eyebrows, her mind moved, and the prototype of a fire attribute domain was instantly formed, suppressing the opponent's metallic domain. The 5 elements are inseparable from change, and fire can overcome gold. She flew up and quickly fought with Jin Xiaolong. Jin Xiaolong didn't expect to meet a human monk woman with such a strong body. After a while, he began to be at a disadvantage, so he gave up melee combat and turned into a humanoid, and began to use spell attacks. She is also very good at attacking Lum Wen, especially after she has practiced several secret skills. She is looking for someone to practice her hands. Therefore, Jin Xiaolong's end was very miserable. No matter what attack method he used, he was restrained by Lum Wen. In the end, the blood essence was donated to the blood, and the demon pill and crystal nucleus were contributed to Miao Miao. The group was shocked when they saw Lum Wen quickly defeating the monster who had stepped into the fusion realm. No wonder she was trained by the top management of the mercenary union. It turned out that she was so strong. After successfully obtaining the spirit item that the mercenary trade union was looking for, Lum Wen heard Mo Yan's voice transmission when he was about to leave with everyone. I found a large spiritual mineral vein. Mo Yan's dull eyes overflowed with a smile. As expected, Lum Wen's star-like eyes instantly lit up. Mo Yan, you are really kind. Lum Wen asked through voice transmission. In which direction? Let's go now. The spiritual ore veins in the Guangling world are monopolized by major forces, and it is difficult to find unowned ore veins. For her, who is very short of spiritual stones, Mo Yan's discovery is good news. In this way, she can cultivate a larger swarm of red bees, and she can better protect others when she goes to the battlefield outside the territory. It's about an hour's journey to the east. Mo Yan replied. Since he touched the threshold of the fusion realm, his sense of smell and sensing ability have also improved a lot, and this distance is better within the coverage of his demon consciousness. Let's head east, Lum Wen said to the crowd. Others have long been vaguely focusing on her and Mingxiu, and naturally they will not oppose her words. This is a world where strength is respected. Lum Wen and Mingxiu's strength and combat power were shocking, so they won everyone's respect and conviction. An hour later, Lum Wen and the others arrived at a mountain that looked relatively desolate. What is this place? And Yukian looked forward in surprise. Although this is a seemingly desolate mountain range, after getting closer, you will find that there are strong spiritual power fluctuations coming from the solace of your feet. There is a mineral vein below. Lum Wen didn't hide it, she was not going to swallow this vein. What? The others exclaimed. When several people were talking, more than a dozen people came to this location, including the 5 members of the Su family who had separated from Sujin not long ago.